Considered the world's most powerful drug lord, Mexican authorities released this recent picture of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman with no mustache and a shaved head, and announced a nearly $4 million reward for his recapture. Joining me with the potential impact of El Chapo's escape in Mexico and in the U.S. are Alana Robinson with San Diego's U.S. Attorney's Office and Ev Mead, Director of the Transborder Institute at the University of San Diego. And Alana, in addition to the charges in Mexico, El Chapo was charged in several U.S. jurisdictions, including San Diego. What are the charges here?
Yes, he was charged here in the Southern District of California back in 1996 with conspiring to possess with intent to distribute and to import large quantities of cocaine.
And did that have to do with the drug tunnels as well?
In the indictment, there are allegations that Chapo Guzman and his Sinaloa cartel used tunnels as well as other methods to import huge quantities of drugs into the United States.
Now, what happened when the U.S. tried to extradite him when he was arrested this last time in February of 2014?
United States Department of Justice complied with the treaty requirements and submitted our extradition request that was pending with the Mexican government at the time of Chapo's escape.
So it was still being worked on?
That's right.
I see. Now, Ev, what are you hearing from people in Sinaloa, Mexico? How are they reacting to this escape?
I think people all over Mexico and in Sinaloa in particular, you hear three things. The first thing is a kind of snickering, of course he did. And almost an ironic celebration of the fact that he showed the ineffectiveness of the Mexican government once again. But that very quickly turns to outrage and indignation. I mean, people feel like this, that it's a national shame, that it's something that a country that has great hopes for itself has not achieved what it wants to achieve regarding citizenship and democracy. And then the third thing that you hear is uncertainty and fear. What does this mean? What's going to happen next? Is Sinaloa going to turn into a war zone? Is it going to be occupied by the Mexican military? So real fear and uncertainty.
Well, that leads me to my next question, Ev, is how might this escape actually affect violence in Mexico, in border towns like Tijuana?
It's really hard to say. I mean, and I don't think anybody has a precise answer to that, because on the one hand, it might be possible that El Chapo was running the Sinaloa cartel all along during his 16 months in the penitentiary, and that would indicate that things might be more stable. But it could be that that's not true, or it could be that someone tries to take advantage of the situation in one of the other cartels to unleash a new wave of violence, or it could just be that an escalation in Mexican law enforcement and a military solution to this, occupying Sinaloa, for example, or occupying border towns that are transit routes for the Sinaloa cartel, could lead to a dramatic uptick in violence.
Do you see that it could impact drug trafficking here in the U.S.?
I don't think so. I think it's more of the same. I think it's an indicator that the drug war we've been experiencing for the last 10 years continues unabated. And that's unfortunate, but I don't think it'll have a dramatic impact on the volume of drugs.
And Alana, this isn't his first escape from prison, of course. It's the second time he's done this. Is the U.S. actually working with Mexican officials right now to try to recapture him? And if so, how?
As the Attorney General stated on Sunday, the United States government stands ready to assist the Mexican government in any way that they require to recapture Chapo as quickly as possible.
All right. And Ev, this has reignited conversations and, of course, conspiracy theories that drug cartels and Mexican officials are in cahoots, that there's, as you mentioned, a whole bunch of corruption going on. What kind of impact does this have on Mexico's president and the politics there, and also U.S. relations?
I think it's really bad for President Peña Nieto. I think it's his second major tone-deaf response to a crisis. The first being when he took an Asian tour after those 43 kids were forcibly disappeared in Guerrero last fall, and here with the escape of the century underway, just having been notified that he took a trip to France. So I think that, combined with the general decline in conditions in Mexico, the fact that the homicide rate went down a little bit under Peña Nieto, but the rate of forced disappearances has gone up dramatically. There have been many signs of corruption within his government, and I think it's a real political crisis for them.
All right, Ev Mead and Alana Robinson, thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.